On this week's show, updates to the Peloton history tool and a group run with Becs and Susie.
Plus, a new Disney Plus Throwback collection, another sale on Peloton devices, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and Chris Lewis.
Welcome to episode 230 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Pelo Buddy himself, Chris Lewis. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Amanda, how are you?
I am good. I'm good. Thank you so much. Just kind of getting through the summer, empty nesting, dealing with no daughter at home, which has been way harder than I anticipated. And of course,
Bit of a change there.
Different. Well, you know what? I think when she went off to college, I kind of knew that she was always coming home. There were, vacations and summer, and now she's like going to live in the big wide world, and it's it's hard.
I mean,
it's hard for this
luckily
mama.
it's somewhere you might go to once or twice, so it's, a good excuse for you.
100%. And I know, but that was the only reason why I was irritated that the studio was closed these next few weeks, or, limited, because there was no excuse to kind of go. I have to have an excuse. I don't want her to think that I'm like, hovering, that I'm the hovering mother, as most Jewish mothers are. Very hovering, but yeah, no, she settled in beautifully, and I'm so proud of her. And my son actually went up this weekend to spend time with the girls, so that was really fun. And my daughter, the older one, the twin, arranged a nice big barbecue for him, and so I was really happy. Yeah, tons of FOMO, but happy that the three of them could be together. And you got to spend the weekend or a couple days in New York. You have fun?
I did, yeah. I was able to sneak in some classes. I got 2 runs in. I was actually in the last 2 runs before they shut down the studio for the upgrades, and then I was able to do 2 rows. It's a bit different while this is closed. They actually have the downstairs area, the normal entrance area, blocked off. So if you're taking a class over this next couple of weeks, it says it in your email, but you actually enter through the plaza doors upstairs, and they're using that desk upstairs, which normally just kind of sits there with nothing happening there, and that's where you check in. They got some curtains up kind of in that side area where the treads used to be before the last remodel. Kind of in that nook where the showroom used to be. So there's some curtains there, but the store area is fully open. Okay. And then downstairs, they've got some curtains up kind of blocking access to the main area where the bike studio is, and downstairs. And I think they're just putting the bikes out there while they're doing the renovations in the studio, just so, there's not dust from the ceiling while they're installing cameras. But overall, it's not as, like when they did the last renovations to upstairs, it looked like a full construction area with like the white sheets up and everything. This one's a little more tucked away. So, but people still going to get in and get some classes in, and then I'm sure they'll flip it in a couple weeks when they do the yoga and the strength studio. So,
got it.
Good
That's
weekend
some good
at
insight.
Peloton.
Yeah, that's some good insight. That's good. I'm sure that prepares. See why you have to listen to Pelo Buddy TV, because that way you get some inside information. If you don't come on here and get to hear this, then you don't get that inside information. So that's very good insight. Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention before we get started, just a heads up for people that we, this show is completely free, but we do have a way to support the show. If you just like the show, there's hosting fees and various costs associated with it. But we actually just moved the way you can support the show over to the Patreon platform. So if you've never checked it out before and you have a Patreon account, it's now fully hosted on there. So you can go and sign up to support the show on Patreon. If you do that, we record earlier in the week and then we release on Sundays, but from time to time we might get the recording finished earlier. So we're going to start uploading those to Patreon for the supporters. So if you become a supporter of the show, you get early access to the show maybe on Saturdays when the recording's, done early. It's not always going to happen, but just if we happen to get it early, that'll be on Patreon for early access. So I just wanted to share that for anyone who might be interested.
Excellent. Yes. So there is definitely advantages to watching or listening the show. And yeah, and as Chris said, if you like us, definitely support us. We've been doing this now. We're hitting our 4th anniversary next month. Can you fifth? You're right. You're right. Oh my God, that's insane, Chris. That is
5
insane.
Years. Where does the time go?
2020. That is insane. And yeah, so definitely some changes. We definitely miss our Kenny Banya, but I'm happy to have you here and hope
thanks.
You know, sending him love and hoping that his new job is really going well and that he is enjoying it. But yeah, this is actually worked out great. So I'm happy to have Mr. Pelo Buddy right there next to me by my side. All right, folks. Well, as always, before we do get started with the news, we always just like to share and remind you how you can stay up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. So just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode. And this week, I recommend you not to go to YouTube because there is some major hair coloring that needs to be done. So if you don't get to see it on YouTube, I won't be too happy. Next week, definitely, because there'll be a new hair color. So I had to throw that in. I'm like, God damn it. Couldn't I have had my hair colored before I was recording?
It happens.
But obviously, right, exactly. Next week, there'll be a nice treat for you.
And then we're also on all major podcast platforms. Just go and search for Pelo Buddy TV, and you can find us on Spotify, Google, Apple, any of those major podcast networks.
And of course, we're on Facebook, Instagram, X. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
All right, well, our top story this week is that Peloton has made an update to their history summary tool. This is the tool that you are able to go and punch in the serial number of the Peloton Bike or Bike Plus, and it will tell you the history of that device, including when it was activated, the approximate number of hours or miles it was used, if there have been any service calls, and warranty information. This first launched, I believe, last year sometime, and it was only available for Bikes and Bike Plus. Well, in recent weeks, they have quietly started adding Treads Pluses, and Rows to it. So it officially still says it's only for Bike and Bike Plus. But if you go punch in a Row or Tread serial number, there's a decent chance that it will work. This happened when they rolled out the Peloton Repowered Used Marketplace a couple weeks ago. That's Peloton's own, Craigslist, eBay type thing. But one of the features there is that you can see the history of the device just as kind of a way to know what you're getting. Well, to do that, they had to open it up to these other devices. So even though it's officially not there yet, if you've got one you're curious about punching in, it might show up, it might not, but they're slowly starting to roll that out to more device types.
Nice. And in this month's edition of Peloton's Outdoor Run Club, Susie Chan will be joined by a very special guest, Becs Gentry, all the way from PSNY. The live event will take place at PSL on Wednesday, July the 30th, and is being hosted by Sporting Equals. That's a charity partner of Peloton. The theme for this month's run is a celebration of South Asian Heritage Month. And it's encouraging participants to wear bright colors and enjoy a scenic route that highlights the cultural landmarks across London. So that could be a really fun outdoor run club. So it's kind of not just your basic run club. It's going to, add a little bit of extra bits and pieces. After the run, folks that join can enjoy a post-run snack from some South Asian restaurants, like one of my favorites in London, Dishoom, which is a fabulous Indian chain, Delicious, and Big Mum's Samosas. Doors will open at 6 p.m. British Standard Time with a group warm-up. And then at 6:30 p.m., the run walk. Sorry, that's at 6. So the doors will kind of open at like 6. They will do a warm-up at 6:30 p.m. And then the run walk begins at 6:40 p.m. With the running route about approximately 5K, as well as an option to do a 3K walk. So if folks do not want to run, but just want to participate and be part of it, you can absolutely come. They do say all levels are welcome. So definitely make sure that you sign up, because spots are limited and registration is required. It's free to attend, so you don't need to be, you don't have to pay for it. And another important thing is you don't need to be a Peloton member. So I think they're actually really trying to encourage other folks to join in as well.
Bring a friend.
Definitely bring a friend. Maybe they'll want to join. And if you can't attend, okay, so that kind of gives you the whole outdoor run club thing. Now, what they're also doing is if you can't attend in person, Becs and Susie will also lead an outdoor run club audio class. That'll be via the Peloton app, and it'll be on July the 26th. So that's an additional, outdoor run activity that you can do if you can't, in fact, be there in person.
Yeah, and then for the people in New York, we've shared that London's been doing these outdoor run clubs 1 to 2 years now. And just in the last 2 or 3 months, New York has started doing them, and they're going to be monthly as well. There is going to be one in July from New York. That's going to be next week on Friday, July 25th. It's going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So check-ins at 1. You're going to start running at 1:30 in the middle of the day, a little bit of heat. But Adrian Williams is going to lead that run from Peloton Studios, New York. And that's going to be a 5K run along the West Side Highway. Same thing. It's free to attend, but you do need to RSVP. And yeah, so you can go check that out and opt in for that. And that's going to be Friday, July 25th, Outdoor Run Club with Adrian from PSNY.
And for somebody that got the benefit of running right next to Adrian Williams in my Miami 10K a couple months ago, it's worth it. Make sure that you go. He is so much fun. He is so inclusive, and he will make it truly, you will not believe that you're a runner if you're not. So definitely encourage you guys to join that if you can. All right. Well, this summer, heading back to London, Peloton is bringing the heat and the mindfulness to the Wilderness Festival 2025 with their immersive Peloton flow space set beside the sanctuary at Cornbury Park in Oxfordshire. So throughout the weekend, festival goers will be able to enjoy complimentary classes across a variety of modalities, including strength and bodyweight workouts, mat Pilates, shadow boxing, guided sunrise power walks and sunset hikes, and bar and meditation. It really proves to sound like it's going to be a very, very fun weekend. Additionally, there will be special expert panels that will dive into topics like women's health, resilience and endurance training. Some of the event highlights include a welcome soiree, which will be hosted by Ben and Leanne. So Ben Oldest and Leanne Hainsby Oldest. There is a 30-minute Strength for Runners class, a mindfulness workshop, a women's health panel titled Stronger Together, an endurance talk called Beyond the Finish Line, and lastly, which sounds like a ton of fun, a family-friendly class like Fit Family Strong. So you can bring your kids along, you can kind of do it in a family setting. This too, whether you're a seasoned Peloton member or brand new, really gives folks an opportunity to sweat, stretch, and connect with the Peloton community, all in, from what I understand, to be one of the UK's most scenic festival settings. So it sounds like a really nice opportunity.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of instructors who are involved. Like the full list of people doing these classes is Ben Aldis, Susie Chan, Jermaine Johnson, Leanne Hainsby, Sam Yo, John Hosking, Hannah Frankson, Emma Lovewell, and Becs Gentry. So it's a good lineup of instructors doing a lot of those various classes. And I do believe that from what I've seen so far, you can't just sign up and pay for one of these individual classes. Most of them, it seems like they are first come, first serve to people who have the festival ticket, which I believe is like £100 for a day pass, maybe, or more for a weekend. So I believe, go to the website and double check, and we'll have an article as well. But you have to kind of have a pass to the event, and that then gets you into the class if you show up and are one of those first people.
Sounds like a ton of fun. Definitely a fun weekend. And getting to see all the, pretty much everybody's there other than the German instructors and Bradley, who's on paternity leave. So
yeah, and even some of the US instructors who are...
and you get Becs and Emma. So definitely a fun weekend.
Yeah, well, changing topics a little bit, Peloton is extending their collaboration with Disney, and there's a new class collection called the Disney Plus Throwback classes, and this features classic Disney songs from the 90s and 2000s. The collection reads, relive your favorite Disney songs of the 90s and 2000s in this special collection of nostalgic favorites. Plus, catch all your favorite Disney Plus throwback movies and series on Disney Plus, now available on Peloton Entertainment. So as of right now, there's about 9, maybe 10 classes in that collection. The vast majority of them are just older Disney classes they've been doing over the last... It goes back until November of 2023, but as of right now, it's all Disney's 2000s classes or some of Kelly's soundtrack strength clubs. I believe the ones that are in there were ones with the soundtracks from Parent Trap, Princess Diaries, and the Lizzie McGuire movies. We shared last week that Peloton had kind of been promoting Disney Plus on Peloton Entertainment, and they're doing the same thing with this one. So, they're promoting it again, even though it's been out of beta for about 2 years now. But things like this are just trying to get the word out there and get more people to check it out, I guess, on Peloton Entertainment.
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense now as to why they kind of been pushing it to the forefront with this new throwback program. That's this new throwback thing. Yeah, awesome. All right, well, our strength Latino instructor Rad Lopez is helping us shred it with a new Strength Plus program called It Simplified. This program just launched on the Strength Plus app and offers members shorter workouts with minimal equipment while still offering effective training. So there are definitely no excuses to get your strength on. The program takes place over 2 weeks, and each workout will be about 20 minutes long. It's a 4-day routine, with the first week being total body exercises and the second week quads and shoulders. From what it looks like, all you would need is a set of dumbbells. So probably your bike dumbbells that you have on the back of your bike would be great. But it's a great way to, it's labeled beginner. So it'll be, easier probably than a more intermediate or advanced setup. And it really is a wonderful way of, launching into your strength routine. Yes, Amanda Siegel, this is for you.
I was going to ask, what's your excuse, Amanda?
No excuse.
No excuses.
No excuse. Nope. Next week, I start week 1. I've already signed in and I am ready to go. So I'm going to be accountable next week, Chris Lewis. You better ask me
I'll
if
ask
I
you
got through
about this.
week 1. And I love Rad. He's so much fun. So, great way to get to work out. So, yes.
Yeah. And for those who might not know, Rad has 2 other Strength Plus programs. One is called just Shred It, and that was a 4-week program. So Shred It Simplified kind of takes that from 4 weeks down to 2 weeks and removes some of the other equipment. But he also has a Shred It 2 program that was released earlier this year. So you've got Shred It 2, and now this Shred It Simplified. So you've got a couple different options on the Strength Plus to do these workouts with Rad or anyone else. There's about 20 or more programs now on the Strength Plus app. But again, as of right now, only iOS users in the US. There's been no word yet of when they might extend those, much to many people's disappointment who are interested in checking that out.
I didn't realize that. I actually forgot about that, Chris. I didn't realize that only iOS users get it. Oh, well, then I really have no excuse.
Only in the US.
And only in the US. Really? All right.
Yep.
Well, now I definitely have no excuse. So I am starting. You heard it here first. I am starting the Shredded Simplified on Monday, and I will be accountable next week when I record the show. So may not be able to move my mouse because I'll be so sore, but I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Well, sticking with strength, Peloton has dubbed another one of their programs into German. Adrian Williams has a 5-day split strength program, which is advanced. This first came out, I believe, back in 2022, 2023. It's been a while since it came out, but just this past month, they actually dubbed the program into German. So it's the same exact videos and the same exact structure as his original program. They just replaced his voice with a German-speaking voice dubbed over it. So that's now available for the German community. You might want to check that out. And that is the 5-day split strength program with Adrian, and now there's a German version tag on it. And if you missed the original or you don't speak German, that original one is still there to take as well if you want the English version.
It would be kind of funny hearing Adrian speak German.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not him speaking, but that could kind of be interesting. That's very cool. All right. Well, Peloton dialed up the atmosphere with a brand new Moby featured artist series, which launched on this past Thursday, July the 17th. I do have to admit, folks, that I was not familiar with Moby, but he is known for his genre-blending soundscapes. His music anchored 6 immersive workouts across cycling, running, strength, and yoga. They are available in English and German. We had a 30-minute ride with Christine Derklay, a 30-minute outdoor run plus walk plus run with Andy Spear, a 30-minute ride in German with Mila Lazar, a 20-minute upper body strength class with Jocelyn Thompson-Rule, 30-minute yoga flow with Kira Michelle, and lastly, a 30-minute run with none other than Mariana Fernandez that our very own Mr. Pelo Buddy, Chris Lewis, got to do live in studio. Was it fun? Was it a fun class?
Yeah, it was a great class. I know the name. I couldn't tell you the name of any songs ahead of time. I did recognize a couple, as the class was going on. It's just nice, chill, it's kind of relaxing music. But it's a great class, a great experience to be there in person. Mariana clearly, loved his music and, was able to tell some stories about how she had been, listening through some various things in her history. And definitely.
Yeah, and influenced by his music. Yeah, it might have been a, chill music, but it was not a chill class. It was friggin' hard class. She was back with a vengeance.
Some tempo, some intervals, some hills.
Right,
there was a bit of everything thrown in there. Yeah, 8% at moderate, I believe it was. Or was it hard? I don't know.
It was a pretty tough class. It was a pretty tough class. I won't share how I did that class. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Nice. Well, for this week at Peloton shared a couple featured classes that were going to be coming out this past week. That included 2 new commuting meditations, and that was a new series that they launched in May of this year with a couple classes, but they came out with 2 more. There was a morning commute meditation with Chelsea and an evening commute meditation with Dennis. Thursday, they then featured the 30-minute Rising Country Run with Logan Aldridge. They also had some new bar and Pilates classes that they promoted. There was a 30-minute Pilates power class with Aditi, and then a 45-minute bar with Hannah Corbin. And then finally, they promoted that coming out, or I guess at this point, you might be listening to the show right now as it's taking place, but Samyo had a 60-minute rock ride, which was today, July 20th at 9 a.m. Eastern. So that was the featured classes for this week at Peloton.
And a new summer apparel collection in collaboration with lifestyle brand TravisMathew just dropped this past week, bringing a laid-back California vibe to performance wear. The launch was announced on July the 10th. Peloton had shared on social that the drop is and I quote, designed for the rhythm of real life, before the workout, after the cool down, and everywhere in between. The collection includes 13 total pieces, including tanks, shorts, leggings, bras, pullovers, tees, jackets, and even a sporty summer dress for those of you that are interested. The price range is between $65 to $150. Katie Wong and Hannah Corbin modeled the clothing on social media ads. And this is actually Peloton's second collab with TravisMathew. Their first release leaned into their golf wear. So this one is broader and, more versatile, athletic leisure wear. Perfect for active summer days and, just kind of being a little bit more, leisurely. The full collection is now live on the Peloton Apparel website, ready for anyone looking to freshen up their fitness wardrobe.
Now, the important question is, did you get a text message about the sale from Peloton Apparel?
I did. But I haven't opted out. So
fair,
I have
fair.
to
That's
say
the big difference
I haven't opted out, so there is no pending lawsuit in my favor.
If anyone missed the show last week, there's a pending lawsuit that just got filed in Florida where someone is suing Peloton Apparel over the fact that they tried to opt out of Peloton Apparel text messages and they kept getting them. So if you missed the show last week, that's the context there.
There you go. Nope, I have been getting them. I will say that I have really been holding back. I did a spring clean or a summer clean of my closet. And I'm like, you got to stop, Amanda. Enough's enough. Now that I'm not getting my $100 referrals anymore, I have no excuse to be purchasing Peloton Apparel every week. So I really have not bought anything in a pretty long time.
Okay. Well, speaking of sales, our final main story for this week is that there is another sale on Peloton devices. This time it is just the original Peloton bike. For those in the US, you can get $300 off the original bike, or you can get $400 off if you get one of the bike's packages. So the ones with the weights and the mats. This is only available on the original bike. It's not the Bike Plus, Tread, Row, any of those. They have similar discounts in Canada and the UK. There's not a sale in Australia because they just ended up there. They had a sale last month for their end of fiscal year. If you were looking at this, hopefully you saw that last week that Amazon had their Prime Day sale, because the sale was actually better on Amazon last week than it is on Peloton's own devices. This is about 20% off, and then it was about 25% off last week. But if you missed out on this and don't want to wait for Black Friday, you can save some money by getting it now. And that's over on Peloton's website. You can go and check that out.
All right. Well, I guess there are no birthdays this week from any of our instructors. So we will go right into Instructor in the News, and I will kick it off with the truly amazing Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20, who joined some of the Peloton folks at Peloton headquarters for a listening party this past week. Beautiful Mariana Fernandez posted about it on Instagram, saying, and again, I quote, another pinch me moment when Matchbox 20 has been the life soundtrack to multiple chapters, dancing to Smooth time and time again, and with Rob Thomas capturing musically and vocally the hard knocks and waltzes of life between little wonders and bright lights. Thank you for sharing your music, your endeavors, and your heart. Today was one for the books. And Mariana was joined by Kira Michelle, Ali Love, and DJ John Michael, who were all there too, which has become like a kind of a thing now with Peloton in trying to bring artists in. So we can certainly expect a Matchbox 20 artist series. Have we ever had one? Has there ever been
an artist series?
So. Okay, so I would assume within the next few weeks there is, potentially a Matchbox 20
or just Rob
artist
Thomas,
series
because he's got a solo career too, so it could just be his solo stuff
so
as well,
it could just
or a bit of both.
I didn't realize he had a solo career actually. Okay, that's news to me. Interesting. I do love the Matchbox 20 songs, but that's good to know.
I believe he's on tour right
that.
now as a solo artist, so his promotion right now is probably for his solo stuff, I believe.
Got it. Well, then look out for a Rob Thomas artist series, and possibly a yoga with Kira and a run with Mariana. So yeah, very exciting stuff.
Well, this past week, Rebecca Kennedy and Jess King appeared at an event in the Hamptons. This was part of the Daybreaker, which is a global community known for its early morning alcohol-free dance parties. This took place July 13th at the Surf Lodge. It was in partnership with the Alchemize House and Peloton. There were a whole bunch of different events happening as part of this event, but the two that tie into Peloton was that Rebecca Kennedy did a 30-minute Pilates class, which was at 10 a.m. And then she had a little meet and greet with everyone who attended. And then Jess King did a DJ set for the dance party, and it kicked off at 11 a.m. and ran through about 2 p.m. So over on the Peloton Studios website, they have a little recap there and a couple pictures if you're interested in kind of seeing a couple pictures from that event. So that took place this past Sunday in the Hamptons.
Great. Well, I love this next story. So Peloton have been doing these member spotlights, and they try and spotlight, interesting members in the community. And this past week, they shared a new member spotlight. Felice Marcus, who was born deaf, shared the impact Peloton has had on her life, with her daughter Mara translating for her. Felice is a 2-time basketball gold medalist in the Deaf Olympics, a triathlon athlete, and a mom. And she says that back in April of 2021, she passed out at work only to discover that she had had a stroke. She said that after seeing what Bradley Rose had accomplished after his stroke, she knew that she could come back stronger, and has used the Peloton platform to gain back her strength, starting with just really beginners, cycling classes, to really now 4 years later being incredibly active on the Peloton, on the platform. She says one of the things that I kind of laughed was, she said, obviously, she can't hear the music, but when she's on the bike, she says she turns it up really, really loud so she can feel the bass on her bike as she's riding. And her kids are like, "God damn it, Mom, like turn it down. It's so loud." And so yeah, I thought that was, a really wonderful way of her to express, her gratitude towards the Peloton platform and how it's enabled her to continue being the athlete that she once was.
Definitely amazing story. And there's a full video of that over on, was that a main Peloton account or Peloton Studios?
Yes, I think it was one Peloton.
Yeah, so there's a full 2.5, 3-minute interview you can go check out and hear more of that story. So, and another quick update, if you watched the ESPY Awards over on Extra TV, you might have seen Robin Arzon on the red carpet. Robin was out there in person doing interviews with some of the various athletes as a special correspondent for Extra TV. She's got some videos and images over on her website, but you can see that was all on Extra TV, and Robin was there helping provide coverage for them.
And Christine Derklay returns to Hit Play Not Pause podcast for an unfiltered conversation about navigating life, sport, and identity during perimenopause and midlife. As we all know, Christine has been such an advocate for women, in their 50s, going through menopause and being very vulnerable and open about her own experience kind of in this next chapter of her life. In the podcast, she opens up about the highs, like winning 3 more national titles, and the lows, including her very real struggle with pelvic floor dysfunction. She candidly shared a moment where she peed herself during a workout, which probably was TMI, but for some women that have had similar instances, it makes them feel seen. In this episode, she also shared that she refuses to sugarcoat her experience, embracing the physical and emotional changes of midlife with honesty and humor. She also introduces her new sprint level training, her SIT or SIT collection, which is designed specifically to help midlife women maintain power, especially as hormonal shifts occur. And she also teases her upcoming book, Talking to Myself, a guide to reworking the stories we tell ourselves. So a really, really cool, easy to listen to podcast that I encourage you to take a listen to. You can head over to pelobuddy.com where you'll get the link. Or just, look for the Hit, Play, and Pause podcast on all podcast platforms.
Yeah, well, to wrap up Instructors in the News, a week or two ago, Alex Toussaint went out to Kansas City for an event for the sports coffee brand. Him and Patrick Mahomes were doing a special VIP event. They shared some videos and stuff. Patrick is actually, I believe, the number 2 investor in that brand. And as of earlier this year, Alex Toussaint partnered with them. It didn't say if he became an investor or was just kind of a brand investor, but he flew out to Kansas City for an event promoting the brand and there's some videos out there on social if you want to go check that out. And that was for the sport coffee brand.
Nice. And folks, we will go right into class picks of the week. And Chris, why don't you share just a reminder to folks listening or watching how they can submit their picks of the week? Because we love to get new folks giving us, their picks and getting instructors that typically we wouldn't see, shared. So if you could just remind everyone how to do that.
Yeah, on Wednesdays over on Instagram on the Pelo Buddy social media, we post a link in our Instagram stories kind of asking for submissions. So that's generally up from sometime Wednesday until early Thursday morning. So your best bet is to look Wednesday afternoon or evening. And it's just one of those polls on Instagram and our stories. You can just send your submission in right there. If you're not on social media, that's fine. You can just email us, mail@pelobuddy.com, or you can go to just the Pelo Buddy website and go to the contact form there and just send us an email with what your picks of the week are. And then we kind of, go through those and take those and create the list that we're about to go through.
Sounds great. Well, I will kick it off. First up, folks, we have Asal Aryan has a 30-minute full body strength in English. It's from July the 10th at 6:30 a.m. This one came to us from our very trusted Amanda, Amaja 3. This, with her saying this was programmed really, really well. I loved it. So as always, thank you so much, Amanda, for constantly sharing your picks of the week with us. Next up, Sam Yo, a 20-minute disco ride, also from July the 10th. This was from 12 noon. It came to us from Matt KST, and they said, good music from Sam on this one. And then Susie Chan had a 30-minute 2010s walk, also from the 10th at 1 p.m. came to us from Gwen Gets To, and they said this walk has an amazing playlist.
Then we have Maddie, who had another edition of his Walk and Talk from July 11th at midnight. This was an on-demand release. This came from Yolanda 44, who said, always an entertaining 30 minutes for Walk and Talk.
And I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you there because I believe that one was actually really funny. It was his weddings season edition, sharing all funny things about wedding season, with obviously his pending wedding sometime I think in September. So it was really a funny one and a fun one to do. So definitely I'm kind of adding that into an extra pick of the week for me.
Nice. And then we have Dennis Morden and his 20-minute slow flow. This came from Gwen Gets To, who said this was a sneaky, difficult, slow flow, holding positions for longer, a great burn. Then we have Christian Vandevelde and his 60-minute Power Zone endurance ride. This was on July 12th at midnight, another on-demand release. This came from George TXT, who said you can't go wrong with a long ride from Christian.
All right, moving over to the German platform, we have Marcel Maurer's Extra 10 Biceps. This one was from the 12th of July. It dropped at 5:05 a.m. It came to us from Jennifer Carroll, 22, and they said, great addition to my upper body day. Hannah Frankson's 30-minute 2000s run from the 12th of July, 7 a.m. Eastern, came to us from Eric Wright's PPC. And Eric said, great playlist, excellent coaching, overall great class. And then Mila Lazara's 30-minute 90s dance ride. This one, folks, was in English It was also from the 12th of July from 9 a.m. It came to us from HK88F, and they said Mila was in her element for this class. Great playlist, and it's in English.
And then Rebecca Kennedy had a 30-minute hike from July 14th at midnight. This came from Just Dance Lisa, who said fun playlist from Rebecca in this one. Then we have Cliff Dwinger and a 45-minute interval and arms ride, which was in German, also from July 14th at noon Eastern. This came from Almajar 3, who said great energy and a fun playlist. And then we have Becs Gentry with a 30-minute progression run from July 15th at noon. This also came from Just Dance Lisa, who said tough but great coaching.
Awesome. And then heading to the mat, we have Kira Michelle's 10-minute focus flow. It was floor poses. Also from the 15th, 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time, came to us from Amaja 3, who said this was just a great quick flow. And then a very, very hard Mariana Fernandez 45-minute HIIT run. Also from July 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, came from my buddy Rachel Zim. And Rachel said, you are going to work in this run in capital bold letters. Great playlist, perfect coaching, 5 flames up. And lastly, to round off our picks of the week for this week, is Leanne Hainsby's 10-minute bar core class from the 16th of July. It dropped at midnight Eastern Time. It came to us from Bookish, Kate, I guess it's Caitlin, and Just Dance Lisa, and they said love her classes. And interestingly enough, this class was actually recommended by Leanne herself, who said that she was doing it while she was on vacation this past week. Her and Ben have been away. And she said that she did it. And she said, I forgot how hard it was. I believe she said that on her socials. So, yeah, a really nice, diverse group of classes this week, folks, for you to jump on and try. And there we go. Look at us, Chris. I mean, Speedy Gonzalez. We got it all packed in just about 40 minutes. Look at us. No breaks, no nothing.
Not a heavy news week. I guess with the studio being closed, it might be like that for a week or two, but we'll see. Maybe with the studio closed, they're actually in headquarters getting ready for some, big drops. So you never know what we're going to see.
Right. They have made it very clear that they are not all on holiday while the studio is closed. Obviously the ones that are taking their required, 3-week leaves and whatever are gone. But for the most part, no one is truly off over this time. Right. All right. Well, with that being said, I always like to close the show just by thanking you guys, saying, thank you so much for taking the time to listen, whether it's on your podcast platform or on YouTube, which you're not doing this week. Remember, you're doing that next week. But always, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in, for listening, and hope we bring to you what you want to hear for the week. So for me here in very hot and stormy Maryland, bye for now, everybody.
And from me here in New York this week, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to everyone next week. Bye.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag. And don't forget to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and X at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available. Just search for Pelo Buddy wherever you get your podcasts from. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.